The man who led the charge of lock her up at the GOP convention, former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, is now a convicted felon. A dramatic twist that had spectators shouting lock him up as he left the courthouse on Friday after pleading guilty to lying to the FBI about his contacts with Russia. Flynn has agreed to cooperate with Robert Mueller's Russia investigation. The plea agreement stems from phone conversations the disgraced three-star general had with Russian ambassador to the U.S., Sergei Kislyak, after the election but before Trump took office. Flynn has admitted he lied to FBI agents who interviewed him about those conversations. And according to court documents, Flynn says he contacted the Russians at the urging of two top officials in the Trump transition team. Flynn was one of Trump's earliest allies, part of Trump's traveling inner circle, from the campaign to the transition and into the early days of the administration. None other than Michael Flynn is named, no one other than Michael Flynn, I should say, is named in the indictment. But the swift guilty plea means that Mueller is reaching right into the heart of Trump's inner circle, applying pressure that can only go in one direction, up toward Trump and his family, including his son-in-law, Jared Kushner. And joining me now, MSNBC legal analyst Paul Butler, Naveed Jamali, intelligence analyst and former FBI double agent, Rosa Brooks, former Pentagon official, and MSNBC justice and security analyst Matt Miller. Thank you all for being here. Naveed, I'm going to go to you first. You wrote a piece in Newsweek that's up today. Our viewers can check it out. And you said Michael Flynn lied to the FBI about Russia, but he should have known better. Why should he have known better?
Well, simply, Joy, because he spent 30-plus years as a member of the intelligence community. And look, for those that don't know, when you're entrusted with secrets, the code you take is just to tell the truth. And that sounds quaint and that might sound simple, but when Michael Flynn was in the room with those investigators, he had to know that there was a decision that he had to make. He could either, say, I don't recall what happened with Kislyak, but instead he chose a definitive answer. Not yes. He said no. In fact, we now know that he lied. So he decided to lie. And the only thing that I can draw from that, Joy, the only thing that I know is that someone who spent 33 years in that community had to have been faced with a position that if he told the truth would have been far, far worse than the lie. So the question here, Joy, is why was he lying? What was he protecting? What was he afraid of telling? Why was he afraid of telling the truth?
Yeah, and I think that's a definitive question, because it's not as if, Rosa, it wouldn't have even been something that you could presume if you are Michael Flynn, who, by the way, was the former head of the Defense Intelligence Agency. This is not a guy who just walked in off the street. He's a career military man, a three-star general. Why would you not just assume that your conversations with Sergei Kislyak were being recorded, right? It does sort of defy credulity. You sort of wonder, why would somebody in that position, who must know that the other side of that conversation is being recorded, would lie? What are your thoughts?
You would think so, Joy, although I will tell you the one and only time that I met Mike Flynn while he was head of the DIA, I went with a group of other think tank folks over to visit him at the Defense Intelligence Agency. He's a very smart man. He asked all kinds of smart questions. He presented us all with a commemorative coin commemorating our visit, and the date on the coin was the wrong date. So maybe that just says it all. I don't know. It is truly bizarre, right? If you are the head of the Defense Intelligence Agency, you know to a complete certainty that we do monitor the electronic communications of foreign diplomats, particularly when they come from states that are considered to be adversarial to the United States. It's bizarre. I mean, I think that if he thought he was doing nothing wrong, if he just had a brain fart,